We are here on the Monday Special Blend on CKCU 93.1 FM, and we are joined with Jonathan Panetta. I guess the first thing I should establish, Jonathan, is are you okay with being called Jonathan? Do you prefer John? Which one do you prefer?
Jonathan is cool, but I have no preference.
Jonathan is cool? Okay, right on.
In light of your recent single, I was listening to Make Use of Your Time. I saw the lyric video that you released for Life is Strange. And I was just I wanted to ask you about that because I did play the game actually myself when it came out. So I was like, awesome. Life is Strange. I haven't heard that game in a while. So I was just kind of wondering what the inspiration was behind that. And then like, do you get inspiration from video games, or do you play a lot of games? I was just kind of curious about all that stuff.
I do. I am a gamer, but I've never like wrote a song like about a video game in its entirety till this one in particular. Because it just felt different. I'm curious. Did you know about Life is Strange? I think it came out 2015 when it first started.
Yeah, that's when I bought it.
I was late to the party. I discovered Life is Strange during the pandemic.
So it hits hard.
it hits hard. My mental health was not so good in the first couple months of COVID.
Yeah.
And just the way like it made me feel, the way it made me think about life as a whole, the decisions that I make, how it impacts myself, how it impacts people, it just made me stop and reflect. Like none of it really matters unless it's mattering most to my life. Some people may think that's a selfish way of thinking, but let's face it, we all want what's best for ourselves. So
yeah,
it really made me be like, okay, if a game can have this much of an impact on me, I gotta do something. I gotta write something about it. And I discovered Dany Horovitz, I think spring of this year, around February, March 2022. And he had some of his own original music that was kind of the topic that I wanted to dig into. So he helped me to get there, but go even deeper than that, and I think it turned out phenomenal.
Yeah. I listened to it just before we had this interview, and it's a really great song. I really like how it's crafted. And I was just curious, what were Dany's contributions to the song specifically? Like, did he play a particular instrument? Did he help with the arrangement to some extent?
Yeah, he helped me with the arrangement. We co-wrote the lyrics together. All the recording in terms of instrumental was all done by me, and he came into the studio, added the harmonies. I don't know if you noticed near the end, it's kind of subtly in there, but there's some beautiful falsetto takes of Dany near the end there. The way our producer just layered that in, I felt was just complimented the outro so much. But yeah, I had the idea going for a while, but he really helped me narrow it down to be like, this should be a verse, this should be a chorus, maybe we could do a little twist here and there. And Dany's also never done something in the rock genre before, so I was also kind of pulling him out of his comfort zone. So
interesting. Now just for those of you listening who aren't familiar with Dany's body of work, can you explain, Jonathan, like what he sort of is more comfortable doing, and like what comfort zone you pulled him out of in order to make this track?
Dany is a singer-songwriter and in the folk music genre. He's only ever done acoustic stuff, so just to be like, okay, it's going to be on electric, it's going to be a tiny bit distorted. I remember telling him, like, I like what you do, I want a Dany Horovitz song, but I want to turn up the distortion, just crank it up just a tiny bit. But Dany also did say I don't want to give too much away, but he's working on some new stuff that is sort of similar to Make Use of Your Time, so maybe that'll be on like a future release for him as well. But yeah, I'd say it's probably his first track with an electric guitar in it. So
okay, so Dany is going through a Bob Dylan moment right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he also really loves Bob Dylan, by the way, so
yeah, well, who doesn't love Bob Dylan? Like,
legend.
Highway 51 Revisited, amazing album. Blonde on Blonde, amazing album. Yeah, Bob Dylan, perfect stuff. Also, yeah, one thing I got to ask about the lyric video, just because I was convinced this was the case, but I just want to make sure. The art in the video, are those like rotoscoped drawings of the characters in the game, like Life is Strange?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so kind of, I guess, building off of that, like, I mean, obviously in that and kind of the story of Life is Strange, which if you guys haven't played it, I'd recommend it. It's a very good game. You really explore a lot of deep topics in your music, like depression and discrimination. I was just kind of wondering if you could expand on that and kind of the importance of those topics, especially in your music, and why you think it's important to kind of talk about them.
Well, music to me, like, has always comforted me. It's always been there for me way more than the average person has. And I just feel like in this day and age, a lot of music today just typically touches upon topics that are just so mucky, distorted, don't make you feel good. They want you to have an adrenaline rush, which, believe me, as a rock musician, I want to see heads banging, hands clapping. I like adrenaline too, but it's also important to like take a moment to reflect on life, like see where you're at, see where other people are at, because I have felt that with music alone when I have been at my lowest points in life. And from the get-go, I felt like if I can make songs that can do the same thing for other people, someone that's dealing with difficult issues in life, someone that's feeling suicidal or experienced any form of racism, if I can do that for someone, then I feel I'm succeeding as a musician.
Well said. Yeah,
really well said. There's definitely one thing I wanted to ask you too, Jonathan. Now that I've actually seen you in your room, I think it's the Intercontinental Championship belt on your wall there.
I got more.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and the World Heavyweight Championship belt too. I recognize that.
Oh yeah. He
knows.
Right on. He knows
yeah. So I gotta ask you, because of that, like, who are some of your favorite wrestlers that you grew up watching?
It's kind of hard to, let me see where they get. I'm so bad on Zoom. Oh, right there, this photo right here.
Okay.
That's a photo of me and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
No way.
I meet him at Hamilton Comic-Con a couple years back, so that was really fun.
It's been a while since I've actually watched wrestling, but I used to be super into it when I was a kid growing up. And I went to go watch a wrestling match in Cornwall with my parents. And I was a huge Jeff Hardy fan at the time.
Man.
Yeah, actually, I was a fan of both the Hardy brothers, actually. And I actually got to see like Jeff Hardy live perform a Swanton Bomb. And it was so sick. I was so excited as a kid. I bought like a pair of Jeff Hardy gloves that I used to wear all the time. Yeah, that was fun stuff, man.
I was a huge Jeff fan, and ironically, like, watching wrestling growing up as well is what also enticed me. Like, in some of my influences today, some of my buddies that know me personally, you mentioned Get Loud earlier. When they heard Get Loud, they're like, oh, Get Loud kind of gives me a bit of a wrestling vibe. I'm like, well,
yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah, it's true. I could see someone like The Miz walking out to something like that. Okay.
This is where my sports knowledge really doesn't. I have negative sports knowledge. So.
Or lack thereof, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be sure to check out Jonathan Panetta. And thanks again, Jonathan, for joining us on the show. We're really happy to have you here. And we'll be playing some of Jonathan's music for this upcoming block.
Thank you for having me.